Welcome back to another edition of Fly Tying for Beginners. And today we're going to tie a green inchworm. We're going to start out, I have a needle in the vise, and I have a piece of sticky back foam, and I have this cut to 1 inch, and it is approximately 1/4 inch wide. I'm going to remove the paper, and we're going to fold this. Start on one end and work your way down to the opposite end. And you can take it and you can roll it in your fingers, not too hard, just to try to get that to stick to itself a little better. You're going to have that line in there. And now after we do that, we're going to take a lighter. I hold my fingers pretty close to the tip, and we're just going to singe that tip there just a little bit, and that will get it rounded off. See, it came apart again already. But just keep rolling it in your fingers until you get ready to tie it. Singe that end. I'm going to take mono sewing thread, and I'm going to attach this to the needle, and let me check that. Okay, that's good. You want to start your first segment a little bit from the end. Now we're going to take our foam, roll that some more because it keeps coming apart, but we're going to put it with that crease down, and we're going to start our segments. And you only need a couple of wraps. Then advance your thread and make a couple of more wraps. Advance your thread again, and you want to make equal segments. You don't have to pull it real tight, you just want to make these bumps in it. And repeat that until you get to the end of your inchworm. And advance that just to the end. And we're not going to put any on the very ends. I'm going to take my whip finisher and tie that off. Now at this point, don't be tempted to put head cement on there, because you get it on the needle and you'll mess it up. We're going to remove that, and we're going to remove the inchworm from the needle. Just grab the whole thing and work that off. And I'm pushing pretty tight, and off it comes. And then we have our inchworm. Now you can take a little bit of head cement and put it on both ends of the knot. We'll take our needle out, and we're going to put in our dry fly hook, and this is a 2 extra long size 12 hook. Now we're going to stay with the mono thread, and I'm going to start the thread behind the eye of the hook, and I'm going to put down a base of thread to the back. You don't have to have these touching wraps. Bring that to the back, And when you get to the tie-in point, you want to put a little base down. Now I'm going to take, I have bright green ostrich herl, and I'm going to use this for the legs. We're going to tie this in at the back. And I'm going to bring my thread up to the front there just a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to take a little bit more of my head cement. I'm going to put it on there just to help secure that ostrich herl. And we're going to wind that. Inchworms have legs on the both ends. So I'm going to wind that, and I'm not real close together. Back my thread off and tie that in. I'm going to bring my thread through that ostrich herl, and I'm going to tie this down at the first segment. I'm going to tie this down at the first segment. I got 2 or 3 wraps. Move the thread forward, up towards the front. Take another ostrich herl. I'm going to tie this in. Advance that thread out of your way. Put a little bit of head cement. And we can wrap that ostrich herl. Be careful, because you can break the ostrich herl very easily when you have a single strand. Yeah, tie that off. And you can break away the excess. Take your mono thread and run it through the ostrich herl, and that will help further ensure that you have a secure set of legs. Now you can take this, and I'm going to tie it on the front segment. Secure that down tightly. I'm going to bring the thread underneath up towards the eye. Take the whip finisher. Give it 3 or 4 turn whip finish. Secure that. When you use mono thread, you have to leave a little bit of a tag because it stretches and it'll pull in. And if you cut it too close, it'll pull in and it will the knot will come untied. And one last time, I'm going to give it just a little bit more head cement. Put maybe just a little bit on the inside because we had a couple of fresh wraps there. Now we're going to tie a straight inchworm. The hook I have in the vise for this is the same size 12, 2 extra long. I'm going to use chartreuse thread on this one. We're going to put a base of thread down to the back. And once again, it doesn't have to be one wrap next to the other. And then we'll get rid of that. Now I'm going to take this, I'm going to wrap that down right there, give it a couple securing wraps. I'm going to bring it underneath and make a segment, and that should be fine. Just that extra little segment there. It's going to wrap around the hook shank there just a bit. Bring that up. Now I'm going to take my ostrich herl and I'm going to wrap that in. I'm actually going to take two so that it is a little stronger for me. I'm going to tie this in on the bottom. I'm going to start it on the back side. Get that one securing wrap and then wrap it down underneath the foam. You can see you'll get the whole shank covered eventually here. Bring that right back up. Give that one wrap around. Got to put my hackle pliers on there. Going to lift the foam and put a couple of more wraps in there for our rear legs. Broke on me, there we go. And you can secure that. And you can secure that ostrich herl down better if you'd like. See, this foam is coming apart, just squeeze it back together. Now I have the thread just above in front of the legs, and I'm going to make the next segment. One or two wraps is all you need. Wrap it forward. Make the next segment. Now we're probably going to get another segment here, but I'm going to wrap the front legs first. I'm going to lift that up, bring this up forward. Tie them to the shank. Trim if needed. And we're going to give this a couple of wraps right here. We're going to go forward of the thread. Squeeze my segment back together. Make that segment, move it forward, and tie down my ostrich herl. Now I'm going to just nip the end of this to secure it. Tie off that head. Give it that whip finish. I'll put a little bit of head cement on there. Put a little bit on the shank underneath. And I put a little bit of head cement on that last segment because it was splitting. I'll just squeeze that together there until it dries. Now we have a barely visible hook shank. Is the straight inchworm. This will float all day. Hope that you learned something from this video. Hope that you would subscribe to my channel. Please refer me to your friends. Leave comments, questions, suggestions. And most of all, thank you very much for watching my videos.